Okay, then here we are, episode 3 of Charlie and Kirsty Talk Women's Football.
Yep.
Yeah, top of the table clash. Arsenal Chelsea 1-0 Chelsea in the end.
Top of the table. You mad?
We were second, they're first.
Yeah, we're second again now
So
then.
yeah, 1-0 in the end. Guro Reiten penalty. Yeah, like as you can tell, I'm just a bit deflated about it.
Was it a red? Did she deserve that second
Yeah,
yellow card
so
that she was given? Katie McCabe got a red card, for anybody who doesn't know. She got 2 yellows in the space of like 30 seconds. It was ridiculous.
what was it? So it's for dissent, right?
Yeah.
So yellow card for dissent, and then within the same minute, a second yellow, which is a red card.
Well done, Emily Hayslip, making
Which
mistakes again.
means she misses the Bristol game, but she's back for Man City, which is good. But like, I don't get it. I don't get why it's a double yellow. First, the penalty obviously is a penalty. Anyone who argues against is just an emotional Arsenal fan, which is fair. I was in the moment of it, but then looking back, it's a clear penalty. But then obviously Emily Hayslip, the closet Chelsea fan,
Yep.
gives Kate McCabe a yellow card for dissent, having a go at her, probably swearing at her, calling her all sorts of names. The yellow card is obviously warranted, but then obviously Katie then just carries on. But it's like my problem is, and I'm not defending Kate McCabe, like what she obviously said is bad. What she's done is bad, but it's like at the end of the day, it's a big game.
Well, it's a London derby, isn't it?
It's a London
massive.
derby. It's the two of the most successful teams in the WSL, the two of the best teams in the WSL. The history's there, like the severity of the match and how far Chelsea go ahead
And
if
it was
they
at
win.
Stamford Bridge as well.
It's at Stamford Bridge. Obviously, the whole thing last season of Arsenal not bringing the socks and that whole kind of drama.
Well done for bringing the Red Sox, guys.
But like the whole kind of drama around it and like Arsenal being made fun of and stuff like that. Like it has a thing for them. It stays with the players. Like it obviously does. So then the penalty happens. Katie McCabe is emotional, as everyone would be, because that's the chance now for Chelsea to put the ball in the net, as they've struggled to do. Arsenal struggled to do all game. So yeah, she's gonna say some bad words, but it's Katie McCabe, and she needs to just stop doing this at this point as well. Like there is no excuse for it. It's annoying with Emily Hayslip. I do have a problem with her being an official in these games when it's big games for Chelsea.
Well,
she
did
does
it to
do
us
it
last season, didn't she? Like, we
Yeah.
had Greenwood and Hemp sent off, and then Alana Kennedy was on the side of the pitch with cramp, and they ended up scoring last minute. Like, I'm not an Emily Hayslip fan, I never have been. And I mean, to be fair, she has refed a game at City again this season, and all the decisions went in our favour, but I do question whether she'd done that just so that she didn't have to have security escort her off the premises this time.
My problem with her as an official is that she doesn't do it impartially.
No, she doesn't.
Like you just
That
said
bias
then,
is there.
like you said, in the Chelsea City game, she sent off 2 players. She made some awful decisions.
She
Then
got booed as
she
well.
she comes back to Man City, and then she doesn't really do anything wrong in terms of City. So she's not impartial.
No, she's not.
She's biased towards City because of the problem she had last time. Then she does this game, and she's not impartial. Like every time she makes a big decision, like a penalty, she follows it up with a red card, even if it didn't need a red card. She should have she should have said to Kate McCabe the first time, look, if you say anything one more time, it's a yellow card. And then when she carries on, then it's a yellow card. After that, then you say, look, you are on a yellow card now. You cannot say anything anymore. The problem is she said something straight away, and then she got the yellow card. And then instead of the warning, then the yellow card. So that's why she got the red.
It's in school, isn't it? Like, you should have your stop and think card, your verbal warning, then your written warning, and then that's it.
Well, I'm not being funny, but look at the game we watched the other day in the men's game, the Villa. Like,
yeah.
Morgan Rogers, like on the screen, is literally telling the referee to F off.
Yeah.
He's shouting at him, and he gets a yellow card. And he's like still complaining about it and doesn't get anything else. But because it's Katie McCabe, it's like, no, that's it, you're off. It's like,
I do question as well, though, the fact that there were probably other cards that did need to be given in that game, and I feel like she didn't get hold of the game quick enough. And we had this conversation while we were live with Mia. There were other things that should have happened where yellows should have been given. Well, they did happen, shouldn't have happened, but where yellows should have been given and they weren't. And I feel like Emily just lost control of the game slightly. And then her way of kind of redeeming herself was to send Katie McCabe off, because then that's a distraction away from other mistakes that she made during the game. But it is what it is. You're going to have her back for the City game next weekend, which I'm not impressed about.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. And at the end of the day, Chelsea won, I guess.
Yeah, but it's too.
no
The
change
problem
in
is
it.
it's too late now. Like 10 points clear. Chelsea have won it. They haven't lost a game. They haven't looked like losing a game. Like
It's the fight for second now, isn't it?
yeah, and the thing is, that Arsenal and Chelsea, they were both so far off it today as well. Like the first 10 minutes,
Yeah.
Arsenal were awful. Arsenal couldn't get the ball out. Leah Williamson couldn't pass the ball out.
She made a couple of mistakes,
Emily
didn't
Fox
she?
couldn't get hold of the ball. The whole left side was just struggling. Like McCabe and Caitlin Ford were really struggling on that left side. Mead had a good game, and like they just couldn't finish the chances. And then after the 10 minutes, we started to grow into the game more. And then that whole period, then Chelsea couldn't do the same. Chelsea made a massive error that nearly put Russo through, and like both teams just couldn't play. They were not at their best at all. It was very cagey, but it was also
Yeah, it was.
very like so many errors
And
for
I
both.
question whether Caitlin Ford was brought back too soon as well, because she obviously went off in like the 43rd minute or something, and that kind of brings the argument back of our club's rushing players back too quickly. But obviously that's a discussion for another day.
Yeah, I don't really know on that one.
On about rushing players back though, segue central here. City Villa yesterday.
Yeah,
We didn't actually
Yeah.
get to watch the game.
Yeah, we didn't go.
Because Charlie ended up having a cup game for his girls, which we'll get onto in a bit. But City were 1-0 down pretty quick yesterday, and then
great
we ended up
goal.
winning 4-2. 4-2 seems to be the score that follows us around at the minute. Miedema even scored 2 amazing goals. Mary Fowler as well. Can we just talk about that?
We need to talk about the Villa goal. We need to talk about that first Villa goal.
Yesterday, and then obviously Jessie P came and saved the day, and it now put us back into second. So it did almost do us a favour that Chelsea beat Arsenal today, because now we're back in second. However, I don't think in the H's household next weekend it'll be a nice environment filming the podcast, because we play each other. But for this weekend, I'm quite glad that Chelsea obviously beat Arsenal, and then we were able to kind of redeem ourselves and beat Villa. So yeah.
City, that first goal for Villa was epitomising the
It
fact
shouldn't have happened.
they throw too many players forward. City, like
Yep.
it was one pass from Villa, like one pass. It was very similar to the
Assist
first,
for Sarah Maynham.
but it was very similar to the first game at the Joy, where it was Villa City, where they just sat behind the ball and played one ball through, and then it was Gabby Nunes, wasn't it, that
Yep.
time? But this time it was just the same. They played it straight through, and Kirsten Casper, I didn't know what to do because she had 2 players on her.
Okay.
She didn't know whether to close it down and force them to pass it, or just stay there and the goal. So yeah, it was tough.
It's been a happier day for me in terms of football this weekend, but obviously not for you, and we'll see how it goes next weekend. But
We're going to talk about the Miedema goal.
we can talk about the Miedema goal.
Oh, and the Fowler goal.
Well, she scored 2, didn't she, yesterday?
Miedema, yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say, she's back and she's in form, and if she
That
plays how she
finish.
did yesterday, next Sunday against Arsenal, it's going to be elite.
That
I am
finish.
really excited for next weekend now.
That finish was unreal.
Yeah, it was good.
The way that she took the touch, no, the way she spins, sets the touch, and then bends it into the top corner.
Yeah. Caroline also got her debut with City yesterday, which is massive. Like, she is a very highly rated Brazilian and international player. And I'm hoping that she makes a big difference for us on the pitch. Obviously, that was announced this week in terms of transfers, which I didn't think was going to happen. City social media had gone really, really quiet, and it was, is she, isn't she? And then literally an hour or so before the derby for the cup on Wednesday night, she was announced. And then next minute it was like, oh, could she play? So in that respect, we're quite lucky that she's kind of been transferred in, whereas obviously you guys at Arsenal seem to be loaning players out but haven't actually brought anyone substantial in.
Yeah, hoping this kind of game makes them think about it, because you look at who Chelsea bring on. They bring on Reiten, Lauren James, and then bring on Aggie Beaver Jones. And who do we bring on? We bring on Stina, Frida, and I think that was it. I might be wrong, but I think that was it. And you just look at the difference and you think, wow,
Yeah.
We are lucky. Our starting 11 really drags us through a lot of games.
Yeah, you don't really have that bench. And I feel like we at City didn't have that bench. Obviously, we've lost Alana Kennedy this week to Angel City, which I am devastated about. Well done, City media, social media team, for leaking that before it had been announced, and then taking your post down and putting it back up again. We also lost Sandy this week, which I'm assuming his wife Evenette's got withdrawn from her loan period.
Must be.
So we've obviously got a backup keeper there with kind of Yama and Kiara. But then transfers are a bit tongue-in-cheek at the minute, isn't they? Like, you look at Chelsea this week. I thought us announcing Carolyn was late before a derby, but then look at Chelsea today.
Well, it's the biggest, isn't it?
Naomi Gurma, 1 second in the interview, Sandy Bonpasta. Sandy? Oh my God, why can't I talk?
Sorry.
Sonia Bonpasta obviously said she'll be announced shortly, and we thought, oh, it might be this afternoon, it might be tomorrow. And then next minute, she's on the telly in her shirt in the middle of Stamford Bridge announcing that she'd been signed. Like,
well, she had to be because it's the biggest signing. It's the signing, isn't it?
It's history making, isn't
yeah,
it?
exactly.
Like,
so
$1 million, $1 million fee is just ridiculous. But you guys need to bring people in, because if you're going to be competing with us and United now for that second place spot, because let's be real, unless Chelsea lose a couple of games, it's over anyway. But you guys are really going to have to look at who to bring in. And there's only, 6 days left? Not even that. 5 days left of the transfer window. Like, it's getting tight.
My whole problem with Arsenal is, who do you bring in, though? Because, like,
Trinity Rodman.
But when you look at the players that we've got, they're already established, like, leadership kind of players. Like, bringing in Trinity Rodman, I just don't see where it's going to fit. And, like, we brought in Kafaji, who's
not
young,
played.
up and coming, like, very technical player who's, like, deserves to be there. And she doesn't get played. And it's just like, why are we then going to bring in more? We can't bring in more young players who have got this kind of potential because they don't get played. And you can't bring in more experienced players because they're then going to have, like, a really big problem. So it's, where do you go? What do you do? I really don't know.
If you could make one dream signing before the end of this transfer window, who would you choose?
I don't even know where to start, though. That's the problem. I think realistically we need another right back, but then it can't be a right back that's going to start because Emily Fox is mint. So
yeah, it's a tricky situation, isn't it?
So it might have to be. It's either going to be a right back or you just go big and just go Kira Walsh.
Yeah, I don't see that happening now, though.
I don't either.
Before the end of the season, I don't see it happening.
I wouldn't mind Trinity Rodman, but it's just like, I don't think we even need her. I don't know what we need. I really don't.
Chelsea want her, don't they? And if Chelsea get her, then that's it. We're done again.
I really don't know what Arsenal needs.
There's no competition there anymore.
Maybe another centre back, but then it's like, I want a centre back because I want Leah Williamson to go a bit more forward, but she can't do it. She's tried it. She's done it for England and it didn't really work. Like, I would play her in midfield because she just makes passes, and then buy someone who can defend and really, like, put tackles in. And that's not a dig. Like, go and look at the Euros. When England won, she didn't make a single tackle. So nothing I'm saying is a personal attack. I just think that would work. But, like, what do I know, eh?
Who knows? Who knows? But
what do I know?
Yeah, in terms, obviously, she did make a few mistakes today in the Chelsea game. And
a few.
Thinking of mistakes, I'm getting good at this segue and stuff. Let's talk about the board at Villa and also the League Cup on Wednesday night.
Oh, right.
According to the Subway Cup, we still have Ruby Mace at Manchester City. And we also, as number 14, still have Alana Kennedy, despite bringing in Carolyn, who is now number 14. And then at Villa yesterday, we obviously didn't go because Charlie's team were playing, but Alana was still on the team sheet there. I just don't get it. Why are admin people not checking things before putting it out? I really don't understand. I don't even know how them things work.
I don't know how them things work, so I can't even, like, give you a thing. The only thing I can think of with the League Cup one is, like, graphics and stuff like that are normally approved and sent in a very long time in advance.
Yeah, but you'd still check it, especially if you know that player is there, ready to play.
But there's so many communications and there's so many different people to go through that there probably wasn't someone who knew, genuinely.
Yeah, no, I guess. But it was still funny, and
The
it's
board
got
one's
us
even funnier.
25k views on TikTok, so I will take it. But yeah, the board at Villa
The board
was
one's
funnier.
hilarious to me. I don't even know why. And the Ruby Mace one's even funnier actually because that's way in advance. Like,
Well, yeah, she went at the
she's
end
not
of last
been-
season.
She's not been there for ages.
She's been back at Leicester half a season now. Like, how can these mistakes be made?
It's bad.
It is really
It's
bad.
really bad.
Really, really bad. Shall we talk about your day yesterday?
Yeah.
From a manager perspective, do you want to let
Yeah,
everyone know what happened?
So for people who don't know, I'm at Bradford City Academy under 16s girls team. I've been there for like a few months now.
Yeah, pretty much since September, beginning of the season.
Yeah, so it's me and another coach, and we've kind of picked up this team, and we're just going for it really. Like, we're trying to get these girls to go through like the under 23s and then hopefully into like first team and professional football. So we're trying to do a lot of development and stuff like that. And we're in the semi-final of the County Cup, which is coming up next week. We've got we're in the like Junior Premier League, and then obviously yesterday we played in the Junior Premier League Cup.
Yeah.
So we played Peterborough United, the Posh Girls, as they're called, and yeah, we started so well, man.
We really did. 2-0 up as well.
Yeah, we were 2-0 up. We played some really nice football. We've been doing some stuff that we've been working on in training.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we made lots of changes because we've got a really big squad now.
Got 19 girls.
Yeah, so we got
ridiculous,
19
yeah.
girls, but we had 18 yesterday. So we made 7 changes, some big changes as well.
Absolute madness.
Because
we've got that many
we
girls now.
realistically we didn't know we were in that cup. We didn't know until like a week before. So then,
you didn't know
yeah.
last week on the minibus on the way
So
back
then-
from another fixture.
So then we're just like, look, we'll use this as an opportunity for another game,
Yeah.
play a decent team, and just go for it and figure out what we're gonna do in terms of like rotation. So yeah, we made a lot of changes, and then obviously with changes comes mistakes and things like that. It went 2-2, and then it goes straight to pens. And for me, I don't really care when it goes pens. Is what it is. Like, anything can happen.
It was tough, wasn't
So
it?
yeah, we
Like,
unfortunately lost on pens. We're out of that cup, but is what it is. I think we played well, and we just take all positive from all that game, all the games, to be honest, and on to the
I
semi-final
was
next
gonna
week.
say we might have to try and like vlog a little bit of it next week, just so you can see what it's like from a coach's perspective of being in a semi-final in a county cup. Like, it's quite big, especially if it gets to the final as well.
Yeah.
Like, the final's played completely different place to where we normally play.
An actual stand.
It's in an actual stand. Like, it's going to be mental, but obviously we've got to get through next weekend first. And it's nice for me because I see it from both sides. I see it from your kind of perspective as a coach, but then I also see it as a football parent side, because we have a situation there. Yeah, it'll be nice to see how it goes, and I will try and vlog it, but I'm a bit of a chin wagger at the side of the pitch, which I'm sure you all probably would suspect, but it'll be nice to see. And hopefully we can come on the pod next week, and after we've been at City and be
Yeah.
like, woohoo, we won.
Yeah.
Both, actually, City and your team.
It's football though, isn't it?
So-
Anything happens.
Yeah.
Anything happens.
I mean, at the what? Look at the colour of Manchester right now. What colour do you keep saying Manchester is
Well,
right
it's
now?
like these lights behind us, to be fair, blue and red.
Yeah, lost last weekend, which when we were filming the pod at 11:30 on Sunday night, I was a bit like, absolutely no way, I'm fuming. And then to come back and win on Wednesday night and knock,
Oh
United
yeah, that
out the
obviously
cup.
that happened, didn't it?
yeah, it was quite a way for us to redeem ourselves.
You
which
obviously
is-
I didn't watch it because I was at training. What like?
It
you
was a
wanna
good
speak
game,
about the
actually. It was kind of end to end, and Coombsy scored again, I think. I can't remember. I was watching the Leeds game at the same time. I had all three on. I had the Chelsea game on, the City game on, and then Leeds United men's on. So it was really hard for my little ADHD brain to focus on everything. But it was very, very satisfying watching City kind of bring themselves back, and I think it's even more satisfying that it meant that we then knocked United out of the cup. But it was a really good game. It was quite aggressive, the same as it was on Sunday, but I think we definitely redeemed ourselves. And Kiara did go off injured, but I think the stick that she'd got for last Sunday and then the stick that she was getting on Wednesday night, she played amazingly. She really has redeemed herself, and I think Yama obviously had to come on to replace her because she'd got injured, but I don't think that affected us in any way. Like, it was good. And it was great because Lily Murphy scored. Can we talk about Lily Murphy? Lily Murphy managed to score. And it was weird for me because in the same kind of minute that she'd scored, Leeds United men's also scored. So I was like double celebrating, and I was on live, so it was a bit mental. But yeah, it was good. And obviously in my mind, Manchester is now blue again. which is great.
Did both teams
So-
rest a lot of players?
We didn't. United had a kind of
they?
different lineup.
Did they play a lot lesser squad?
I wouldn't say so. Another point we wanted to make, and we were going to address this last week, but we didn't get time to because we'd obviously got back from the derby really, really late. But one thing we've experienced in the past few weeks is hate comments, which is something that we've not really had before. And I think it comes from the fact that obviously we are a couple. You're male, so people obviously don't often come for you. And I may have shot myself in the foot slightly. I did put a video up while we were at the derby about Gary Neville. It wasn't. It was a joke, but people didn't take it as that. And some of the comments that we received on it were horrendous, and it's not something that we've ever had before. We had someone say women's football should be banned. We also had somebody say, why is a dishwasher complaining? Obviously referring to me. Women are allowed in the men's football, but men are not allowed in the women's. Why should that be allowed? Women shouldn't be commentating on men's games. And it was quite negative. And we also had one on YouTube, didn't we? Which I can't remember what it was. You'll have to
It was
kind of
just like
explain it. But
women's football. I only watch women's football for comedy or something like that. It's just
yeah,
like,
and then when we were really, really privileged when we were at the Man City hospitality against Ipswich, and we got to welcome the players in, and we'd obviously put a video up of that, and there was someone commenting on it like, imagine giving tickets out for free just to get your stadium to still be empty. And we were like, it literally hadn't even opened yet. The stands weren't open. People weren't in there unless they were in hospitality, and this person just kept going and going and going. And I've also not just seen it on ours, but we've got friends within the TikTok community who are also getting it at the moment. And I always thought that because we were kind of a male-female couple, we might not get as much. But then we've also got friends who are male who do women's football coverage who have also been getting it. And I just don't think there's room for it. The table is big enough for everybody. And like you always say, people wouldn't make a point of going onto content of like golf or cricket or rugby and being like, oh, I hate it, I'm not going to watch it. But it happens in the women's game.
no, my problem with it is it's always the like, who cares? And it's like, there's
You care,
there's
enough to
clear
comment.
there's clear data that shows you people care. Like, why do you care why people care? Like some of the comments, don't get me wrong, I think some of them are quite funny sometimes. Like,
Yeah.
because I watch women's football, so it's like I can see what people are doing. I can see that they're like sat there with a little bait, like trying to reel
Yeah.
people in. Like, I think it's funny sometimes. Like, sometimes I make them comments to like some TikTok people that we have. I'm just like, oh, gotta go watch Arsenal, like taking the mick, like kind of thing. But then like some people genuinely, and I've had it in comments and like even on like Twitter and stuff, because I run the Twitter. It's like people get so emotional. It's
They
like,
really do.
well, what are you watching that for? It's like, because I am. Like,
Do you know what though?
like anything else, I wouldn't go to you and be like, what are you watching Friday night dinner for? Like shut up, man.
It's stupid. And
Shut
we
up.
do obviously do lives on men's football as well. So we don't just do women's football. But we've got followers now that are Leeds United men's fans, and their attitude towards us is so much more positive. Like, we've got regulars that come into our lives and they're like, hi, how are you doing? Like, hopefully Leeds win, yada, yada, yada. And I don't ever get any stick from the male fans. And I really thought that'd be what we'd get, but we don't. It seems to be, and most of it probably is teenagers just wanting a reaction. And we will obviously, for people that are listening to this and not actually watching it, we will probably screenshot some of the comments to put onto here. We'll obviously rule out people's names though, because the whole point of us bringing awareness of this isn't for people to go and kind of like hound these people, but we thought it was a really important topic to talk about, especially as we're getting bigger on the platforms as well. And I just feel like there's no room for it.
My problem is just like, I don't know how it gets there, because like even when you look at like little kids, when there's like little kids and they're on about football, they're just like, there's just an assumption that girls don't play football, and like there's this kind
that
of
assumption does
but-
not sit well with me.
But like, I just don't get it. I don't know where it comes from. I don't know where it's like taught, because it obviously with the game getting bigger and stuff, it isn't taught. So like, where does it come from? I just don't. I don't get it. And like when you know the thing with like Google and like you said last week with Google and how it's changing the kind of
Yeah.
assumption. It's like, but where did that come from? Why has that been put into a program?
Because too many people are
I don't get
complaining
it.
about it.
I don't get it.
I feel
get it.
like that attitude does come from the way people are kind of brought up, and I know that sounds really, really bad, but I know for me, I'm really lucky because the class that I teach I've had for nearly a year and a half now, and I did used to have boys in my class that would be like, you can't play, you're a girl, like, and they wouldn't let the girls play, and I stamped that out really quick. And I think it comes from the fact that my children know that I spend time at women's football. I've got tattoos about female players. Like, come on, I had to pick an adult to put on a spoon for a life cycle thing in my class the other day, and even the boys were like, let's put Lucy Bronze on it, and I was like, my boys' attitudes to women playing football is completely different, and we've now got it where if the girls want to play football on the playground, they will, and they know fine well if a boy tells them they can't play, they come to me, and that's stamped out straight away. So I do think it is attitudes that people develop very young, and parents aren't and teachers aren't stamping it out, whereas I feel like that needs to happen because that attitude can't continue with the game growing. And look at the women's Euros, how many more people are invested this time round than they were last time? And I mean, it did take winning a tournament for people to become involved, but at the same time,
that happens.
It's got to come from somewhere, like you said, and I'd be really interested to know where it does actually come from.
But like, even when I was younger, I was like, my mum would always watch all types of football. Like, she even now will watch like League Two football just because she just wants to watch football.
Same as me, isn't it?
But like, she would always watch women's football and she'd always talk about it. But and I didn't when I was playing when I was like 14 because I was just like, I just don't want to watch it. It wasn't like I wasn't like, I don't care, oh, it's rubbish. I was just like, I just don't want to watch it. And then we went to a game and like, I went to Arsenal Women and watched them win a trophy, and I was like, this is class. Like, I really enjoyed it. And then like, but I knew that the football wasn't the same ability, but I didn't care, and I still don't care now. I know that there's a difference.
He's a secret blue.
But I don't care. Like, I don't care that the ability is so different because like
they are two separate games.
They're two completely different people who are completely made in completely different ways and have different things. Like, there's no way it will be the same. Like, and then it's also like, I didn't watch it, but then I didn't have this hatred towards it, and I just don't understand where the hatred comes from. If you don't want to watch it, fine. Like, if you watch rugby and you don't watch football, fine. But I wouldn't expect you to be on post going, who cares? This is rubbish. Why are you showing me this? Why are you forcing this down my throat? It's like, shut up, man. Just watch what you want to watch and move on with your life.
The funny thing is that I don't think these people that are doing it, though, realise that if you interact with a post, that person's posts are going to come up on your feed again. So you're commenting saying that you don't think women should play football and all that jazz, but actually
you're shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah, because our content is going to come up on your page. If you're going to comment on our things like this, we're going to regularly come up on your For You page. So actually, it's worse for you.
Yeah, you're like, I don't want to see this. It keeps coming up because you've interacted on it.
Sorry, guys, you're going to see our face now. Unfortunate for you.
That's quite funny,
but one final point for this week, I just want to mention the giveaway that we are doing at the moment. So, and explain our situation really with Football Hair. So we have been really, really lucky to become ambassadors for a brand called Football Hair. The owner, Connor, is one of the nicest blokes ever, and he created Football Hair to make sure that there were clothes out there that were specifically for women in football, because he went and he couldn't find anything for his little girl, and he didn't want any other women and girls to have to go without. So we are very, very lucky to be ambassadors for them. That obviously comes from us on here, on TikTok, on Instagram. Charlie being a coach, me being a teacher, and kind of pushing girls football from that way. So we were really lucky to have been taken on board by them when we applied. And they are amazingly supportive of everything that we do as well. Not only are we supporting them, but that is kind of reciprocated towards us. So we asked really nicely if we could do a giveaway of one of their unreleased water bottles. And basically, if you subscribe to our channel on here, if you follow us on TikTok, you follow them on TikTok, and you repost it, that gives you 2 entries. And these water bottles are unreleased, so it is definitely a giveaway worth doing. And also, if you decide you don't want to enter the giveaway, but you want to go out and check Football Hair out, we will put a link to their website in the bio, and we also have a discount code. So if you put in Charlie Kirsty 5, you'll get 5% off as well, which helps us, but it also helps you guys get money off as well. And it leads on to kind of males not hating women's football because they're out there creating these amazing brands to kind of promote it for women. So keep your eyes out for more things from them as well.
Yeah.
Happy with that?
Yeah.
Right, we'll call it a night. Thank you for joining us. Please subscribe if you don't already. Give us a like, comment what you want to see in future podcasts. We may even have an online guest with us in the next couple of weeks, which will be amazing if we can pull it off. And yeah, hopefully we will still be sat next to each other recording next week, because it will be filmed after City Arsenal. So yeah, have a lovely week, guys. We'll see you soon.